This is the thing. Who you choose to hang around with, who you choose to have in your posse, is exactly who you become. Choose your posse wisely. I'm here to tell you that putting yourself first is not selfish, it's revolutionary. Welcome to the Woman Warrior Podcast, empowering women to light their lives on fire through Ayurveda, yoga, spirituality, and fitness. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Satyavani, and I'm here along with my partner, Prajna Madhavi, and we want to welcome you to the Trainerize app, our branded app. This app has two beautiful functions that we want to share with you to get your health moving in a woman warrior direction.
So the first component is the fitness workout side, which is fabulous. With this app, trainers can give you a personalized experience based on your fitness goals, our dosha assessment, and fitness level. The app has phenomenal access to videos for each exercise so that there is very little confusion. There's also messaging capabilities so that trainers can continually keep in contact with you as you move further into your fitness journey.
The second component is the nutrition piece, because you cannot out-train a bad diet. After the initial assessment is taken, trainers can align your doshic diet to your specific exercise regimen, which means that eating more of what you need and less of what you don't. The recipes are then posted in the app where you can choose meals based on time, ingredients, and taste. And you can always refresh the menu if needed because you prefer something different.
So with these two components, along with our Ayurvedic assessment, we'll give you a unique and individualized experience that you most likely cannot find anywhere else.
I would agree with that. Mm-hmm. By using our personalized app, you'll gain knowledge of what your body needs and be on the road to becoming your best and brightest self. Welcome to our app. Jai Bhagwan, Women Warriors, and welcome to the Women Warrior Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Satyavani, and who better to co-host this show than
Prajna Madhavi. Hi, everybody.
You look so great today.
Yeah. The bun's a little thin.
Is it?
When my hair's longer and thicker,
okay,
the bun just really
Why is it thin?
top.
Is it the season?
No, I got it thinned out and cut. So my hair is cut.
Oh, that's right. Who's your stylist again?
Somebody from Great Clips. Actually, her name's Elizabeth, and she's fabulous. So because she actually takes, I didn't know this, but Great Clips, like the reason why it's Great Clips is like they only get 20 minutes with each person.
Oh, so it's kind of like a doctor's office.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Like, no, you're done and you're out. That's
all
the hair I can clip today.
Does the stopwatch go off and it's like if you're mid-cut, you're out?
Yeah. And I didn't know that, but
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, when she started working on my hair, she's like, I'm going to take more time with your hair because
you get 40 minutes.
It's really thick. And
Oh my
she's
God.
like, and we're going to do layers and we're going to thin it out. And she's like, I don't care if it's extra time. Like, they can fire me. And I'm like, well, you just go into business for yourself and I'll be your customer. Because she does a really good job.
That's so great.
Yeah. So Elizabeth, Great Clips, do a great job.
Elizabeth.
Gave her a podcast, so give her a shout out. Gave her a little.
Where is Great Clips? Or where's the one that you
out
go
of Fred
to?
Meyer?
The one right next to it, like where we live?
Yeah.
That okay. Yeah, that's right.
Convenience.
You are so funny. You know what's hilarious? Okay,
not
and
like I
before
do
we actually
much.
get into the
This
meat
is
of the
what
show,
I do with my hair.
it's just-
So
it's so funny. So Praj and I have two very different hairs, as you can tell. Okay.
yes.
With
Hairs.
short hair, you have to maintain it a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I get my hair cut like every 3 weeks, and I've been going to Carissa Webster forever. She's over at Chic in a shank. She was at a place called Undone when I first met her, but I've been loyal for 10 years, and Michael goes to her as well.
Okay.
But it's so funny. Like, mine is like a true salon experience, and you're like, I'm going to Great Clips. I think that is hilarious. Like,
They don't wash, they don't shampoo, they just sit. You sit in the chair and
they snip you up.
yeah, they maybe spray your hair down.
Oh, that is so
trim it.
funny.
Yeah.
I have never been to a Great Clips, and the only people I ever knew who went to a Great Clips were men.
Yeah,
Is it mostly guys in there?
it's a lot more guys than I've
Okay.
ever seen. I mean, there's women in there too, but
Right.
there's a lot of dudes.
So you got it thin down. I haven't seen it down.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well,
Does it feel like it weighs less?
yes.
Okay.
Even when I was
Yeah.
wearing the bun,
Yeah.
A week ago, I was like, why does my head feel like it's like leaning backwards?
Yeah.
I get sick.
I had a yoga student who actually became a yoga teacher for us. Her name was Maddie, and she had very, very thick hair. And she would have to thin it out and also like shave it underneath in the summertime because it was huge, like just lots of curls and very, very heavy. So
some mornings when I wake up, it's not even dry, like underneath, because it's so thick.
that's amazing.
Yeah. I don't complain.
Yeah.
Like I tell every hair, they're like, your hair is so nice and thick. And I'm like, I'm not going to complain.
But no.
And there's a lot of people out there
Yep.
that do not have a lot of hair.
Yeah,
So,
like me.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Thin and like,
good.
yeah. Mine dries in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So. Well, now that you have heard our hair stories,
Yes.
friends, welcome so much to the podcast today. We are very excited to have you. And if you listened to our first podcast of the year, we are dedicating this year to a particular sutra from Patanjali Sutra, Sutra 1.14, which is practice becomes firmly grounded when done over a long period of time without break in all earnestness. And so as a result of that, we are going to be talking about a variety of topics this year that are going to be themed around that. And we are starting actually with the Yamas and the Niyamas, which are these 10 precepts, if you missed our podcast last time, these 10 precepts of how to live a good life. And so today we start out with Yama number 1, which is Ahimsa. So we're going to talk about Ahimsa, which translates from Sanskrit to mean nonviolence, and what that means on all levels of the self, and actually just a reflection of how it is that we are in the world. So it's going to be an interesting discussion. But before we get started, as always, we've got some announcements.
Yeah.
So give it to us, girl.
All right. Third session of Hybrid Camp started this last week.
Yes.
And
Winter.
Yes, the winter burn off the kappa hybrid camp, and had about 23?
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Good.
Actually, it was under 20. I think it was 16.
You're right. It was
Yeah.
16 because
So
there were
4
several
14
people
so
who are registered but couldn't make it. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But great group of people that are wanting to level up, and they did a great job. So really excited to have them back and have some new people. So if you want to join our hybrid camp, Sundays, 7:45.
Fit Body Boot Camp.
Yep. Little church.
Hybrid church. You will
Hybrid
be good with
church.
Jesus. That's what we said
Yes.
today.
Yes.
You'll be good with Jesus, the Buddha, whomever it is that is in your spiritual sphere. You'll be good if you come to hybrid camp.
Yeah. Second announcement, our AWP 2.0
Yes.
is going to be kicking off in April. And we've got some venue ideas that we are playing around with and looking at getting members for that lifelong transformation that is a year of really deep self-work. I think if you ask a lot of the women that have been through it, they will say that definitely something changed during that year.
100%.
And it's just whatever you got to put the work in to get what you want out of it. And we give you that opportunity for a year and give you the guidance. And we also get to see our acharyas this Sunday as well, who are basically our level 2.
They
Level 3s.
level 3s. I
At
mean,
this
they're-
point.
Yeah, they're way beyond now.
Yeah.
So they've
Yeah.
been initiated. They're actively doing this work in the world now, which is really pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's taking off for all of them.
Yes.
Next, we have our GLP-1 program that we are getting the pamphlet for and on our website and getting the organization for what that's going to look like. So for those of you who are maybe currently on a GLP-1 and want some assistance as to what maybe you need to do to help with that.
Yep.
If you are someone who doesn't really want to be on a GLP-1, this is a great alternative. And if you are someone who is thinking about getting off a GLP-1, all 3 of those components, this program is not going to hurt you in that journey whatsoever.
No, it's actually going to help.
A lot.
Well, and I think what makes it different, and we're calling it the Ayurvedic GLP-1, not that there is an not that GLP-1s are Ayurvedic, because we know that they're not, but rather presenting from an Ayurvedic perspective how you can be supported. And really what it is, it's a plan.
Yeah.
A lot of folks who are either thinking about going on, are on, or transitioning off don't have a plan. And the plan is super important, because we also will give, information about what the implications are of being on a GLP-1. And there's no like blame or shame or anything associated with any of that. If that's what you're doing, then that's what you're doing. But you also need to go in equipped with knowledge as well as a plan.
Yeah.
Because you can come off of these things and be right back to square one very quickly. And actually with I would say a less than stellar condition.
Yeah.
So
And we also have our Stroll magazine.
I
that has come
know.
out,
This is very
which is a
exciting.
big announcement.
So shout out to Nicole Harrison, who launched Stroll Hidden Springs. This is our first edition, and we're very excited about it. We're here. We're right here in this little section of the corner on page 8 for the January issue. And it was very well put together. It's gorgeous. It's excellent to be part of a community and neighborhood-driven magazine. And so it's delivering neighborhood connections. So congratulations, Nicole. You worked super hard for it. You are a badass. You are one of our peeps. We are super excited for you, and we're happy to be in it. And so I was able to go through it, and so now I'm going to give it to you so that you can take it home.
Nice.
But the even cooler news is that we are going to be the spotlight in February. And we just got back the final edits for the article. So if you are a Stroll magazine reader, we'll be coming at you in February. And if not, then pick up a copy, because we're cool, and it's cool to hang out with us. And we want you to hang out with us. So
Awesome. I think that was about all I had.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's good. Just one more plug for the Ayurvedic Woman Program 2.0. If you're local and you want to have a committed in-person program to be part of that is going to change you on multiple levels, this is the program for you.
Yeah, if you're really looking for connection and you're just kind of done with online stuff and done with people, looking at Instagram and thinking that the fix is there, or on Facebook, or from the outside, like this, it really is an inside job, and in person is the best way to do that. And that's what we want to provide for women.
And we've done it both ways. And it's not that the AWP group that was online had less of an experience, but there is something about the power of being in a room with other women, hearing their stories, feeling their experiences, and being able to be part of that energy.
Yeah.
That really does lead to amazing transformations and insight. So if you are interested, send us an email at info, because we have a new email address because we fancy now.
Yeah.
info@thewomanwarrioracademy.com. And you can visit us at thewomanwarrioracademy.com and the AWP 2.0 program with all of the details and some video and some testimonies, and all of that is actually on our website. So do check it out. It starts in April.
Nice.
Okay, that's it. I'm really excited for that to start again. I know you are. You're very excited. Yeah. So, you want to do a check-in?
Yeah, I can do a quick check-in.
All right, let's do a quickie, because everybody loves a quickie.
Quickie. Yeah.
So, all right, how we doing?
On a physical level, I'm pretty consistently sore these days, but that's just the level of activity. We're doing we decided to reduce our step count down by about 3,000. Yeah. So we're doing about 12,000 steps a day. So I'm still trying to get about 15.
Same.
But it just kind of depends on the day as to whether or not.
Giving ourselves some flexibility.
Yeah, giving a little bit of flexibility because the joints are starting to hurt. When it's cold outside, it makes it very difficult. And being inside on a treadmill is not my favorite.
No, not mine either.
But you do what you got to do.
Truth.
And then, just trying to reduce my lifting to just a couple lifts a day.
A couple lifts a day.
Doing it more often. So just minimizing
the
number
amount
of lifts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying like I'm doing a couple of
I
lifts
go in the
each
morning,
day, and then you come in the afternoon. I was like,
afternoon.
damn, okay,
No. Couple of exercises in
got
my
it.
lift.
Check.
So that I think is going to help me sustain a little bit better than feeling like I have to go in, 3 times a week, do the full body.
Yep.
That just a little taxing, plus getting all the steps in. So I'm going to
It's a
try
lot.
that and just see if my gains don't help with doing that. And so
It's a great winter program.
yeah,
Love it.
yeah.
Love it.
And then on the energetic, this time of year is a little tough. The energy is pretty heavy outside, and it's been cloudy, and haven't seen the sun for a few days.
Days.
Since we
Few
got back
weeks.
from the Caribbean, maybe. And so, yeah, the energy was kind of a downer after, I think, coming off of the high of being in the Caribbean, and then, okay, now we're here in the cloudiness.
Yeah.
And so trying to keep my spirits up with
Same.
still getting outside. I believe you sent me the people who get outside
Yes.
have a reduced percentage of illness, which, guys, take note of that. Guys and
Yes.
gals, still get outside. Like, I know there's no snow at Bogus Basin. I know, so you can't do your favorite recreation. Well, still get outside. It's
Agreed.
still pretty important.
Yeah.
So
It's just good to be in nature.
yeah, because I mean, really, like Zach Bush was saying, like this time of year, people get sick. One, because you've mentioned sugar, alcohol, holidays, but two, the natural environment has died.
Yes.
And so you don't have the CO2 being, taken out of the atmosphere, and you don't have the natural world blooming and kind of keeping you a little healthier. So you got to
Keeping you
get out in
blooming.
it. Yeah. So mental, emotional, same kind of thing, going along with the energy, just trying to keep spirits up with staying active, even though I don't want to sometimes, and making sure I try to get outside after I eat all the time. And and then intuition, been really trying to listen to that. Thinking about even when I second guess something, I'm like, no, what was your original thought? Stick with it. Do it. Just see what happens.
Love that.
And then spiritually pulled some oracle cards lately, but that's another one that I still just have to, again, I'm excited for AWP 2.0 to get back into that.
Yeah.
So,
Regular practice.
and getting outside is definitely something for me that brings a little bit more
100%.
spiritual connection. So,
Love that.
what about you?
Physically feel great.
Good.
Feel great. I've been getting really good sleep lately, so that's been nice. I'm glad that we gave ourselves the flexibility of 12 to 15,000 steps, because I went to the massage therapist, went to Jesse, and he's like, "You tight?" I mean, shocker. And I told him like, "Oh yeah, we're doing this 15,000 steps a day," and it's funny. we do these things, and so he's like, you just need to make sure that you have enough reserves, to actually do this. And talking about protein levels and all that kind of stuff. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to listen to this. And so beefing up the protein, not that that's really a struggle, because I would say on average, I get about 120 grams a day on an average day. On a low day, it'll be maybe 98, and then on a high day, I'll get like 130, 140 kind of thing. So just being very conscious of that. Energetically, I'm with you. This weather is killing me. Like the lion in me is like, where's the sun? This isn't.
I haven't had a bad inversion year for the last
This is a
couple years.
long one.
This one's been
I'm like,
worse than most.
the sun? And it's just I actually am like, maybe I should just drive up to Bogus and just like be above the clouds, This is just, I feel like it's been going on for like 3 weeks now. So I'm dying here. Now the good news is we're supposed to have sun over the weekend.
Yeah.
So I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
Yeah.
So I will say, like, even in my house, like, cats are flopped out, like Michael's just kind of like, little
It's not just
lethargic.
us. It's
No.
across, I've heard Arizona, California,
1,000%.
they're all getting sucked in with
Yeah.
even worse.
Yeah. We're
So.
everybody's just kind of laying low right now.
Mhm.
So energetically, that has had its impact for sure. And mentally, emotionally, I feel really good. I got back into my daily gratitude journaling, which has been really nice. Even if it's just something quick, I just feel like I'm doing that, and I'm also reading the Book of Joy that was written by Desmond Tutu and the Dalai Lama, and that's been really nice. That's been really, really nice. So I'm excited about that. And even if I'm just reading a chapter a day, just moving through it, which has been very helpful mentally and emotionally. And intuitively, I feel really, really dialed in. I actually had a conversation with my spiritual coach last night, and I'm going through this whole, like, is there something wrong with me? So I called her up. I'm like, is there something wrong with me? And she's like, okay, you got to be a little bit more specific here. But is there something wrong with me around the whole concept of death and grief and all of that? Because I'm getting ready to go visit my mom and my brother. And they're very much still in the grieving phase since my father passed in 24. And I don't feel that way. And we've had this conversation before. I don't feel that way. And so I started to take a kind of a reflective deep dive into that, and this kind of crosses over with the spiritual, where, like, intuitively I feel I'm not blocking anything. But then this, like, the chitta in my brain was like, are you not dealing with something, like, because you're not expressing your grief like everybody else does, kind of thing. And so just having that conversation with my coach yesterday was really helpful. And she actually said, she's like, you've matured. Yeah. Your spiritual practices have just matured, and you see the world a little bit differently. And and she goes, and there may come a time where all of a sudden it kind of strikes you, and you give yourself the opportunity to actually grieve it out. And I said to her, I said, it's not that, like, I don't cry, when I think of my dad on different occasions, or if I see something that reminds me of him or something along those lines. It's not that, but I'm not carrying that deep, deep heaviness. And I actually feel very light about the situation. And so it was just really cool. It was good to, like, do an intuitive check-in to make sure that where I felt good was actually, it was good to bump that up against somebody else, and start getting into that. Because I also think, and this is not to knock grief counselors or everybody experiences grief differently.
Yes.
Very differently. And I also, to a certain degree, feel that there is a lot of emphasis in society on grief and grieving, that it almost becomes like a show.
That's exactly what I was thinking while you were talking.
Okay.
That I
appreciate that.
A link between grief and ego kept popping into my mind.
Gotcha.
Like, how much of grief is ego driven to
Yeah.
where I feel like this is how I'm supposed to feel.
Yes.
And I get attention if I am feeling this way.
Yes.
And I think that is a societal thing. Yeah. I don't think anyone means to do that necessarily.
No, I don't even think some of it is conscious. I think it's very subconscious.
People get attention when they're grieving.
Yes.
Therefore, if they want attention and something has happened, and they know they get attention for that, then they grieve.
Yes.
I don't think that's everyone.
No.
Or, again, very unconscious.
Absolutely.
I just think people should maybe think and be aware of that.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I'm a very private griever myself.
Yeah. Really?
That's why I walk so often.
Right.
I cry a lot just walking.
100%.
A song will play and I will just start to bawl.
Absolutely.
While I'm walking.
That's what happens with me.
That's how I grieve.
Yep. Like, after I got off the phone with her yesterday, I played a song that reminds me of my dad. And like, I was like, okay, I'm just going to let this out. And it felt good to let it out. But I'm with you. Like, and again, I want to be very clear. I'm not saying that
No.
grief is not a real thing and that it hits people in different ways, et cetera. And I also think that it can become a thing that
That we need to be aware.
Yes.
It's constantly being aware of
so
what's happening, how, why is it happening, like what's coming up for me. Do I want to hold on to this
Yes.
for a long period of time? Am I ever going to release this out?
Well, it was really interesting because one of the things that my coach said to me yesterday was, she's like, what does it feel like to just let things down? Like just place them on the ground. Like you don't have to carry it. Just let it be. And I really feel like that's a practice that I've been working on for definitely the past 5 years. And so in this particular situation with, the passing of my dad and all of that, I think that has served me well.
Yeah.
So it was good. It was really good. So it's just an inquiry. It's an excellent inquiry. I was, pretty happy with that. So
Another quote that comes to my mind, and I don't know who originated this quote. I've heard it from Joe Rogan. I think I've heard it from Chris Williamson. The hardest thing you've ever been through is the hardest thing you've ever been through.
Yes.
And so for some people, falling off a bike is maybe the hardest thing they've ever had done. And so that freaks them out versus someone who's, had a leg removed. Like, that's a different kind of hard. And so it's, people are just in lots of different phases. So,
Yeah, so that's it.
Okay.
Cool.
Nice.
Story of grief.
Yes, there it is.
All right.
Which can kind of tie into some of the stuff we're going to talk about.
100%. So we are going to talk about the concept of ahimsa today. So these ethical precepts, this mic just keeps falling here. I got to tighten this up here. These ethical precepts with the book right here, the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, again, are really an excellent guide for, I would say, happy and right living, however one defines right. And the first one is ahimsa, known as non-violence, top of the list. So do you want to read just a little bit?
Okay.
A small concept from Satchidananda, who is the author and translator and commentary of this particular version of the sutras.
I'm not even going to try the Sanskrit.
Don't worry about it.
But the idea is ahimsa, or nonviolence. In the presence of one firmly established in nonviolence, all hostilities cease. Starting with his 35th sutra, Patanjali covers the 10 virtues one by one. When the vow of ahimsa is established in someone, all enmity ceases in his or her presence because that person emits harmonious vibrations, which I think is very key. If two people who have enmity between them come to such a person, they will temporarily forget it. That is the benefit of ahimsa. When it is practiced continuously in thought, word, and deed for some time, the entire personality brings out those vibrations. And he goes on to talk about the Buddha cultivated this practice, St. Francis, Mahatma Gandhi, and how they all tried to really practice ahimsa, or nonviolence. He also mentions even wild animals forget their nature of causing pain in the presence of one established in ahimsa. In ancient Hindu mythology, it states that in the forest where the saints and sages lived practicing ahimsa, the animals would only kill when they were hungry. At other times, a cow and a tiger could drink water side by side.
I love that. Nonviolence. Where does violence or self-harm or harm typically start? And when we dive deeper into this concept of nonviolence, it brings up a couple of things. It brings up the idea of how do we perform acts of violence against ourselves? And how do we do those same acts onto others? And I think that we always, all of these ethical precepts, we have to start with the self. The idea of violence against the self can show up in multiple ways.
Yeah.
And so, as everything, we look at things from a 5-layered experience. From a physical standpoint, violence can show up as disordered eating, disordered fitness, body dysmorphia, the idea that this sacred physical vessel that you have been given is not enough. And we do a lot of these practices in the Ayurvedic Woman program, specifically to get people to get into relationship with what it is that they see and what it is that they think about themselves. So self-harm on the physical level, thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I as I was looking through this outline, I just wrote down some things. So with disordered eating, anything from anorexia, bulimia, again, body dysmorphia, plastic surgery, Botox, injections, things like that. My own personal experience, even now, and I'll just go with right now from what I was thinking was not recovering enough. I am doing my harm to my body by trying to do 15,000 steps a day, trying to still work out at the gym, trying to still do all the things that I'm doing all day, lifting weights for other people, for clients, and expecting that that's not going to do anything to me, that I'll be fine. So even like it's a practice for us as well. And that was something that 100%. I was thinking about, that's not necessarily, if I'm practicing nonviolence, I have to keep that in check. And these, talks that we have about, hey, let's lower our step count. I will work out every day, but it's only going to be for 15, 20 minutes and be very cognizant of the lifts that I'm doing. Like those are things that I really started to think about. So
I love that. And you are correct, because even when we're doing healthy things, things that we overdo, like I think about, I know some folks who are runners, who just run past what their body can actually handle. Or even, even some hybrid athletes, that they just over functioning in general. And this could be we're talking specifically about the physical level right now, but over functioning across the board can have the reverse effect. And so I love that you brought up recovery, because I'm really, really trying to, I have absolute 100% ability to over function. It's in my DNA.
Yeah.
It's in my constitution type to overfunction. And so to have to be very diligent, because
pittas you are intense all the time. So you adding more things to your plate, you are going to do it intensely all the time.
Right.
So we got to take those things off your plate, which is why we got to take off 3,000 steps,
which is a relief.
Yeah. Oh, I could feel it.
Yeah.
Over the phone. You're like, oh, thank God.
God.
You don't have to do 15,000 steps.
No.
I'm not doing bear crawls and broad jump burpees in the gym. I'll do 15,000 steps, maybe.
It's true. But this is how, from an Ayurvedic perspective, that these, and just a yogic, Vedic wellness perspective, how violence can show up. Because we often think about violence, which is himsa, or being himsick, as something that happens out there, like what we see right now going on in society, the violence that's happening in the streets and all of that. We think of violence in the movies that we watch, in the video games that are played, that kind of thing. And we've actually, for a large part of our culture, have become immune to that.
Yeah.
And what I love about these yamas and the niyamas is that they bring it front and center. Again, like, you might feel like you are immune to these things, but these acts, quote unquote, acts of violence are happening all the time, and building an awareness around it and then being able to flip that script. We had the conversation about what's happening with the major body dysmorphia that's going on, with, quote, celebrities out there now. That is violence against the self, because you are given this sacred vessel. And yes, you do have to take care of it. But going to these extremes is an act of violence that you will feel physically in your body.
And if we're talking about ahimsa as far as acts upon others, and I've heard this with a lot of good examples, I think, but I just want to remind, parents and, people are watching. Your kids are watching how you are treating your body. They're watching what you eat. They're watching, you concerned about your weight. They're seeing all of that. And
your habits.
On top of, the habits that you're building for them and the foods that you're feeding them, like, those are all things that are potentially doing harm to others as well.
Agreed.
So,
great examples.
Yeah.
Then energetically, how can self-harm show up? Energetically, being around the wrong people.
Yeah.
Being in the wrong career. Forcing yourself to be in a situation with somebody, with a group that does not fit, or feeling obligated to do something that intrinsically is not for you. That energetically is how things can show up. So,
just being in a job where I didn't feel like I was fitting anymore, being under fluorescent lights all day, being on really hard floors all day. And I saw it with a lot of my coworkers. I was lucky enough to have gone through the AWP program and been with people that were focusing on being in a higher vibration, focusing on nourishing myself, eating good foods. And teachers, I'm sorry, are some of the worst.
They are. And it's so sad.
And some of that, is maybe because all of the energy that gets taken out of them, and then also being in that environment, they're eating the cookies, they're eating the bagels, they're being fed all of that stuff. Hey, during parent-teacher conferences, do you want a soda? Do you want, here's this processed food. Like, it's just pumped. And I think some of that is because, I'll take it because I have this anxiety, because I have this depression, because I'm feeling this way.
Yep.
Okay. That I don't have a lot of options. I'm in this lower vibration.
Yes. And I think that that's a key that you just brought up. Lower vibration is an act of harm against the self. And it doesn't mean that you think that you're better than other people. It's just not your vibration. It's not the vibration that you thrive in. Yeah. And I go back to, Michael always talks about this in yoga teacher training. If you put a plant in a low vibration part of your house where there's no sunlight, there is no, nourishment, there is no positive energy, maybe nice music that's playing, etc., that plant is going to die. And specifically on the energetic level, we can literally get the life force, just the prana just sucked out of us by being in low vibration environments. And that could be like the bar. That can be certain restaurants. That could be your in-laws' house. That could be, so being, again, all of this is cultivating awareness, being aware of what those low vibration areas are. And you know it right away. It hits you. It like, boom, you're like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, this does not feel good. So, and just not forcing yourself in that situation.
And just like in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, in the environment of, say, the Buddha, you have the tiger and the cow that can coexist and not harm each other.
Right.
Only kill when hungry.
Right.
only eat when hungry.
Right.
But if you're in a low vibration and poor energy state, you're going to just eat just to,
Because that's what everybody else is doing.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a group think that goes along with that. From a mental emotional level, and this is always interesting, what is the conversation that you have in your head about yourself? When you wake up in the morning and you look at yourself in the mirror, what is the conversation? Is the conversation, I love myself, I'm proud of myself, I am beautiful, I am contributing, I am abundant, all of these affirmations that we talk about all the time? Or is the conversation, I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm unhealthy, I'm never going to amount to anything, I'm depressed, whatever. Having a clarity around that inner dialogue is huge. We're sometimes our worst enemies, where we have conversations that as soon as we get up in the morning, it's the 10,000 things that I'm not.
Yeah. And social media has made it 10 times worse. Because a lot of people just get on their social media and look at how many other people are living these great lives, supposedly.
But are they?
Yeah. Oh, look at this person. They look better than me. Or, oh, they've got the car. And so where does that comparison automatically go? You're comparing yourself to something that is on a screen that you have no idea what that person's going through. So why even look? And
you don't really know what their life is.
No, you don't. No. So I have my affirmations stamped on my mirror. And when I'm looking at myself in the morning, I'm like, look at these affirmations. And it's a much better way to wake up.
Yep. I have I have 5 bullets from Bruce Lee. So on my mirror. And it makes a difference. But also from a doshic standpoint, mentally, emotionally, it does manifest when we're inflicting self-harm on ourselves. It does manifest in certain ways. From a Vata standpoint, it manifests as, anxiety.
No. Yes.
Or maybe fear.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. From a Pitta standpoint, we're angry.
Frustration.
We're frustrated and we're angry and
irritation.
Pissed off. That's just our jam. And then from a Kapha standpoint, it can manifest as hopelessness or depression, just kind of that heavy, heavy energy. So
Eeyore.
Yes. So being cognizant of when those emotions appear, connect that with what your inner dialogue is. And because what our inner dialogue is ultimately going to manifest itself out into the world with the people it is that we come into contact with. You are going to appropriate that anxiety onto other people. You're going to appropriate that frustration onto other people.
Which then creates a lower vibration.
And there you go.
Which then makes you hungry for that candy bar. They're all connected. Yeah.
And there's actually marketing tools that want to keep you in this self-harming space because it makes money.
Yeah.
Because we can sell more candy bars if we keep people in a low vibration by them continuing to feel like you are not enough and that there's something wrong with you.
Yeah. And by eating those candy bars, it also goes the opposite direction.
Yep.
It just all fits together.
Then on the intuitive level, how this can show up is indecisiveness, a little bit of brain fog, where we're inflicting this harm by not being able to execute decisions according to what we know to be true. And sometimes this has been going on for so long that we have not even sat down to figure out what it is that we truly want.
Yeah.
And that what we deserve and that what we want to move towards. And that's why we have annual goal setting. That's why each month, each day, it's okay, what's the task of the day? What's the power list? Because as you're checking those things off, you become so clear and you are moving towards action and moving out of self-harm and saying, okay, I'm decisive. I know where it is that I want to go. And that's how people move forward.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I had too. Just a lot of brain fog, indecisiveness, not listening when we should, silencing when we shouldn't. The intellect, right?
Yep.
Um,
Pragya aparad.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just second guessing ourselves and knowing.
That's a huge one.
yeah.
So second guessing
I'm
yourself.
a master.
You have a PhD in self guessing.
Should I cut my arm off?
But second guessing ourselves is actually a really hymsic thing because we're like, oh, well, who am I? Who am I to actually trust what it is that I should do with my life? Somebody out there has the answer. Somebody out there, look, people, nobody out there has the answer for what it is that is appropriate for you. Nobody. So the more you give your power away, the more harmful that is, the more self-harm you're inflicting, the less you're growing, and the less non-violent you are going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody has the answer out there for you. It's in here. As you always say, it's an inside job.
Yeah. I absolutely love that. And I think of many examples that I've heard all week, whether it be political, sports. Oh my gosh, people just want to blame something outside themselves or say something outside themselves has the answer. And I'm like, does it really matter? One,
Right.
like, does it really matter what happened
Right.
to that football player?
Yep.
Right. Yeah. And you're absolutely right. Like, you're giving your power away.
Yes.
When you do that.
And giving your power, like we are given a cauldron of power when we are born. It is our birthright. And as we start pimping it out, as we start handing our power out to other people, it's actually a two-way act of, quote, violence. We are taking away from ourselves because we feel like we're not good enough. And we are appropriating a responsibility, a self-responsibility, onto somebody else who didn't ask for it, by the way. So that is also an act of, quote, violence. Now, I know, like, we're using this word violence, and a lot of people are like, oh, they have this, like, visceral response to that word violence because we think of it as, like, somebody got shot, somebody, got, violently abducted or, whatever. We think of it in those terms. And yes, those are absolutely acts of violence. They're very egregious. But we also commit and have accepted certain things in society that are these tiny acts of violence that are slowly stripping away at our soulful, rightful, spiritual, whole self. Yeah. And I'm not okay with it.
No. And it goes back up the chain as well. So if you have a body that is clean and healthy, and your vibration is higher, and you don't have these emotions of anger, frustration, you're going to feel like you are tapped into yourself and not be looking from outside to help solve something inside of yourself. So if you have that body, that healthy vessel, it's going to help create that for yourself.
And energetically, the right people will be drawn to you, the right experiences. For every no, it's leading me to the right yes. That will naturally come your way. Like, this is that flow state. This is high vibration ojas. This is, things are moving in the right direction. Mentally, emotionally, we become clear and level-headed. It doesn't mean that we don't experience the range of emotions. Of course we do. But we're also much more aware of when these violent emotions show up. And then from an intuitive standpoint, we become very clear. We execute decisions. We know what our purpose is. We don't have any brain fog. We're not swayed or influenced by other people or experiences or what's out there, which is not appropriate for you anyway. And then spiritually, how violence can show up is in the form of withdrawal or isolation.
Yeah.
We just pull back. I don't want to be in a self-examining space. I don't want to be around other people. I'm not open to experiences.
I wrote down, we believe that this, I is all there is. And
I love that.
this is the way it is.
Yes. This is just how it is.
And so then you feel very lonely, very withdrawn, very I-oriented.
Yep. And spiritually void.
Mm-hmm.
Part of being a spiritual person is being in the awe and wonder of what is possible.
Yeah.
Is being an open vessel to those experiences. So I'm all about it. And let's talk a little bit before we wrap up this segment about symptoms of how violence can show up and how we want to be nonviolent. So we want to be ahimsic. How does the mind chatter create symptoms that lead to self-harm on the 5 koshic levels? So, this is always interesting. The mind chatter. Mind chatter shows up as self-doubt. It shows up as distraction, which is a huge one. I'm going to distract so that I don't have to deal. It shows up as, I just can't. Helplessness.
Yeah.
Learned helplessness, which I think is very different from when somebody actually is helpless.
Yeah.
But learned helplessness. And so those are ways, those are symptoms. If you're starting to feel helpless, if you're kind of throwing in the towel, if some of these wavering emotions show up, that's a really good indication that there is something that's invading this beautiful being that is you.
Yeah. And one thing that I wrote down as I was thinking that is we start to believe what we take in visually.
Oh, good one.
Instead of tapping into our true potential. And again, I think social media has just done a number on people, but we believe that we are the labels, that people put on. We believe that the reality that we are fed is true.
Yep.
Which I think creates all of that helplessness. And, this is the way it is. It doesn't have to be.
No. I said this in my household a million times, and I still stand by this. You always have a choice. It might not be the choice it is that you want, or a choice that you have to make that you want to do, but you always have a choice.
Yeah.
And so when people are like, oh, well, this is the way that it is, and it's just, okay, and I'm going to take a knee.
That's a choice.
That is a choice. I would rather die on my feet than live on my knees.
Yeah.
So
always moving forward.
Always.
You take a knee, you're not moving anywhere.
Nope. And it's okay to pause and reflect, but you have to keep moving forward.
And just realize it's a choice that you're making. Yeah.
Practicing ahimsa on the 5 koshic levels. So if we want to be nonviolent, what's the remedy for all of this? What's the remedy for the mind chatter? What's the remedy for how it shows up physically, energetically, mentally, emotionally, intuitively, and spiritually? Because we always want to be able to provide a remedy and a plan for you.
Yep.
So what can we do?
And you can think of all of these as the physical layer.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of where everybody starts.
Right.
It's like on a physical level, what can I do?
Right.
Because all of the rest of them connect
Yes.
to that physical layer. So,
and those physical actions translate through all of the koshic levels. So why don't you give us some suggestions here? What do we got?
Get sleep. Get good sleep. When you're in REM sleep, it's cleaning your brain out. Like it's
like a dishwasher.
It's doing its thing at night. It's revitalizing your body. This whole sleep when you're dead thing is not a good idea.
No.
The whole Western, especially U.S. concept of work, get as much work in as we can. Not sleeping enough is actually, kudos to me. I can do it all.
It's a badge of honor.
Yeah.
No, it's stupid.
We need to move away from that and realize be more productive in the hours that you have and make sure that you get the sleep that you need.
Yes.
Because then you will be more productive. And then these other things are going to start to show up. Drink water. Notice said water. It's not water substances.
Right.
So
water-like substances.
Drinking water to revitalize the cells, to keep fluid in the body, helps the brain, helps all the muscles.
Yes.
Helps all of that work better. What do you have over there?
I would also say on the physical level, outside of sleep, which is always the first pillar of health.
Yeah.
From an Ayurvedic perspective, you got to get sleep. I was actually talking with a patient yesterday, and this person was just talking about some, memory issues, et cetera. I'm like, dog, you got to go to bed. Like, you got to go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to sleep, movement, exercise, keeping that flow happening. From an energetic level, you spoke about water, also breathing and being in nature, like deep breaths, people. Like throughout the day, like at the top of the hour, just close your eyes, pause, and take a deep breath. And being in nature is always energetically cleansing. So going back to walking outside, even when the weather is not that great, just being able to be in the elements really just refreshes everything. So mentally, emotionally, a remedy.
Seasonal eating.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Meditation.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What else do we have? Spiritually, I have community.
Yes.
Being in community.
Mm-hmm. And I would also put seasonal eating on the intuitive level as well, because our body definitely craves certain things at certain times of the year. Like I've been on a soup kick lately.
Oh, yeah. It's good time of year for that.
I'm all about the soup.
Mm-hmm.
But when the summer comes around, I'm like, no.
Salad.
So tap into that intuitive nature of what your needs are and how you can nourish those needs in a positive way.
And also think about the foods that are supposed to be ready this time of year.
Yes.
There's also that.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't be eating blueberries in January.
No. Definitely not.
If they're not ripe this time of year, they're probably not at their peak.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. But I think spiritually, being in community, I think that when we are together, we are better together than separate. I'm going to repeat that for many reasons. We are better together than we are separate. And we build spiritual capacity in ourselves and in others when we are together.
So that was one thing that always fascinated me about just Hinduism, which, not to get religious here, I'm not a Hindu. I can't be, right? I don't live in India.
No, that would be interesting.
Yeah, but the concept that they had of we are all a part of the divine.
Yes.
That means we're all connected in some way. And we're just a little speck, little tiny speck on this huge universe, but it's all connected. We're all a part of the whole.
Yes.
And we have lost that. A lot of people have just lost that idea that we're even connected at all. Like, nope, I'm isolated. I'm on my own island. It's just me. It's a lonely place to be.
And also violent against the self. We are naturally beings that crave community, and we do better and we thrive when we are in community.
Yeah, the worst thing to do to a prisoner in jail?
Put him in solitary.
Yeah.
All right. So we have a new segment that we want to introduce that Praj came up with, and it is called What Lights Us on Fire. Yeah. And it's also tied with a truth bomb a little bit. So this week, what lights us on fire? Go, girl.
All right. Well, so there's a woman on Instagram. I don't even know her name, but I've been seeing a lot of her videos because, again, it's what you follow on Instagram also kind of dictates what you're going to get. So if you
watch the algorithm.
If you watch a lot of low vibration stuff, they're going to keep feeding it to you. So I try, to always watch the high vibration. So this woman is all about the food, that the food you eat.
Is this the food babe?
Depends on which food babe you're talking about.
No, she's called the food babe.
Is that her? Okay.
No. This is the gal who started Truvani.
Oh, no.
No, okay.
No,
never mind.
This is the personal trainer from what it looks like who's talking about.
Oh,
it's about what you're eating. It's
SNEZ.
Yeah.
I don't really know what her handle is, but go ahead. Anyway.
And she's lit on fire with this.
Oh, this is her thing.
So this is her thing. So I kind of wanted to give her some props for this. So she talks a lot about discipline and a lot about like what you're feeding, what you're putting in your face.
In your face hole.
Yeah. Either lacks discipline or is disciplined. So this is a quote from her. Nutrition is the highest form of discipline. because it forces you to strengthen the one muscle most people ignore, the ability to control yourself.
Boom.
Yeah. You always have a choice, right? You always have a choice what you put in your mouth. Nobody, unless someone's force feeding you, you always have a choice. So,
and it ties beautifully with ahimsa, nonviolent action. When you nurture yourself with the appropriate nutrition that actually makes your body feel good, and not temporarily, but for the long term, you are practicing nonviolence. So,
and the discipline too.
Yes. Discipline is a form of nonviolence.
Yes, it is.
When we are disciplined, we are focused, and all of those things, the physical, energetic, mental, emotional, all the way up to the spiritual, fall into line. That's why monks and sages and, executives, they're very, very disciplined with how it is that they approach life and how they move through life. And nutrition in this example is just one example of that. So,
and there's a big movement right now of, well, I don't know about right now. I feel like it's kind of moving away from that, but have work-life balance. Like, need to have discipline.
Yeah.
You're not always going to be motivated by
oh God, no.
butterflies and rainbows. It's
absolutely. I tell my clients all the time, I am incredibly disciplined because I'm not always motivated. And that's just real.
Yeah.
So even when I don't want to, it's like, I got to do it. I got to get up and I do it. And then you always feel better afterwards.
Yeah.
Even if it's just that one moment in time, like, oh, I do not want to get up this morning. You got to get up. You got things you got to do.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Okay.
So friends, thank you for joining us today as our journey through ahimsa, nonviolence, and how this violence can show up and what are some remedies around that to help mitigate that. But take your life seriously. Really think about where is this showing up in your life and how can I change that? Let 2026, the year of the fire horse that starts February 17th, let it be a new chapter. And not just like, oh, it's going to be a new chapter, but like a legit new chapter where you're doing this spiritual exploration with us this year in practicing getting firmly grounded, because you're doing it over a long period of time without break in all earnestness. So, thank you so much for joining us, friends. Anything else, my friend?
Nope.
All right. We are super excited that you came and listened to us today. Please do hit subscribe on our YouTube channel. We are so grateful that we are moving up the ranks because of you. And if you want any more information, please do visit our website, www.thewomanwarrioracademy.com. Jai Bhagwan, everybody. And as always, may your soul be victorious.
Is life hard? Yeah, it's really fucking hard. And you can also have the life it is that you want. You just got to work for it.